This is going to be the Canon PowerShot V10 vlog review, which I have now used 6 months. So I am ready to give you my unprofessional, regular vlogger opinion. So let's get to it. I'm not too sure which vlog I'm going to be uploading first. I do have a long weekend series with a lot going on in the last few weeks, I must say, because I haven't posted it for 3 weeks. But this could go up first or my other vlog would go up first, but doesn't matter. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am finally doing the long-awaited review of my Canon PowerShot V10 review. I have officially used it for more than 6 months, so I am ready to let you guys know all the good and the bads of this powerful little camera. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing is the build and design. Now, with this Canon PowerShot V10, the reason why I chose this in the beginning was because of its build and design, because it's so compact, like it's literally the size of my palm, and it's just easy to hold. You can put it in your pocket, you can whip it out and just film straight away. It even has like a little flip screen, so you can look at yourself like this, and it does provide a wide angle view as well. It is 6.6mm at f.28, and it also has a stand on the side, so you can literally lay it on a table just like that. So it's super easy when you bring it out if you want to do, like, you know, your day in life vlog and you don't shy about it. I find it really easy and simple to use this camera. Now onto the video quality. With this little camera, it does shoot in 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second. Colors is like rich and natural, which you guys seen in my very first vlog when I posted on this YouTube channel. You guys were asking me a lot of questions, which I love, and I would answer you guys at the end of this video. Straight out of camera, you don't really need to do anything. Like for me, because I'm not a very techie person, so this camera for me is actually absolutely perfect. I don't really have to fidget around with the settings or anything. It does have a few features of changing the coloring of your video setting. Another thing I really love about this camera is you can actually switch between the video and camera. And the camera quality, I have to say, it really is not bad. I'll insert a photo right here, right now, and that was taken on the Canon PowerShot V10. I loved it. Like, it actually looks so good for Instagram if you want to post some content. Like, it's truly like a 2-in-1 camera, so highly recommended. Now, the next section I do want to talk about is the audio quality. As you guys can see, there is a 2 mic that's built in, so even if I'm shooting like this or like this or like this, it actually feeds my sound into it really nice and crisp. Like, it does have a bit of a block out some sound, outside sound as well. Obviously not as great as me holding a DJI mic, because that is directly feeding through the transmitter into this mic. So another thing I do want to talk about is this camera can also use the DJI mic. So with the transmitter, there is a 3.5mm microphone jack, as you guys can see there, and a HDMI. So the 3.5mm microphone jack, you can attach the transmitter to that camera, and it feeds really nice audio if you want your audio to be crisp. With the HDMI, this camera also can do live stream, so you can actually use it as your, I guess, your video camera if you're live streaming, or if you're in a meeting, that camera can also act as your camera, I guess, for any of those sort of events. Sorry guys, I have to switch places because I was sitting in front of my window and it's getting a little bit too hot. So anyway, let's continue on with our review. Talk about some limitations with the V10. So the very first thing that I think I've mentioned multiple times, and also to you guys when I was answering your questions on YouTube, is the fact that there is a 30-minute limitation on this camera for video. When most of the time I like to shoot in 4K, I just find that the image quality is just so much better. I really have to lower it down to 1080p at 60 frames per second for me to shoot a longer form video. At 4K at best, if I'm outside or if it's on a really hot day, it probably will only last me 10 to 15 minutes. So just keep that in mind. Whereas with my 1080p setting, I can shoot up to say 30-40 minutes before the overheating bar starts to come up on the screen. So that is like my number one limitation for anyone who likes to do long form vlogging, because I'm currently using my EOS R50 to do all this review. It can shoot longer form, so if you guys want that, you might have to upgrade to a more expensive camera. The second limitation that I do want to mention is that it doesn't actually do any any zoom. When you're holding this camera and you're just shooting, it's only in one sort of perspective only. So you can't zoom in, you can't zoom out. There is a image stabilization feature that's built in. This built-in feature, I actually forgot to mention actually. So there is a image stabilization feature in this electronic stabilization and not optical image stabilization. Just to keep that in mind that it is one of those cameras, but like, I mean, it is a small camera, so you can't really ask much of it. And for it to have a image stabilization feature, I reckon that's also a bit of a win with the price point of this camera. The other thing that I do want to talk about is when you're vlogging like this while walking, you will get a lot of shake. In my very first video, I did turn on image stabilization and it worked wonders. However, it does crop in. 3 features from no image stabilization to your medium image stabilization to a full image stabilization. It's cropped in quite a fair bit, as you guys can see. Obviously, with my current camera, I have a wide lens sort of feature, so it's just easier. And even if I'm holding it and walking around, it's just easier to I guess, for the viewers to see. Whereas this one, yeah, you just have to be careful. It's either your hands are very, very still or you place it on somewhere and do the talking to the camera. And I think that's best for this sort of camera. Okay, so who is this camera for? I would say it's literally for anyone and everyone. You don't have to be a content creator. If you just want to, like, you know, when you're traveling, you just want to take memories or whatever, this camera honestly will do. You don't really have to spend more than $500 Australian dollars to get good quality camera that you can bring on your trip. As for a content creator, I mean, this camera does come with all the features as a beginner content creator. You know, if you're a TikToker, if you're a YouTuber, just in general do a lot of marketing or whatever, I honestly recommend this camera. There's more pros and cons in my experience with this camera, and it also really do really solid b-rolls. If you are filming video and you need, like, you know, a close-up shot or whatever between your videos, this camera is honestly great for that. So great for b-rolls, great for, you know, capturing little moments here and there. Okay, so now we're on to the final verdict. So what do I think about this camera? Well, it is obviously not a DSLR. However, let's go through the pros. So it does shoot in 4K video, excellent built-in mic, and you got a super compact and portable size and body of the camera, USB-C and a live streaming ready sort of feature, and also a 3.5mm microphone jack for you guys to plug in a little carry-on mic like this for that crisp audio. Now onto the cons. So there is a recording limit. It does overheat. That overheating is probably my biggest concern with this camera. I really hope they have a built-in fan, but I guess, again, I can't really ask much for something this compact and small. It has mid-level stabilization and a small sensor, which means it has less dynamic range. So these are the cons. So obviously the pros are more than the cons in my opinion for this small camera. So yeah, if you want no hassle vlogging setup, this honestly is the camera to go for. So I do highly recommend this. They usually sell for 450 to 550 Australian dollars in Australia. So I highly recommend picking one of these up if you ever, I guess, want to invest in a new camera. I actually promised you guys I was going to answer some of the questions towards the end of this video. So let me jump on my page. Let me answer some questions that you guys have been asking me for the last 7 months. And oh my god, guys, it's been 7 months since I started posting YouTube. I know I haven't been the best at being consistent. I really am trying. It's just that sometimes life really gets in the way. Anyway, no more excuses. Let's hop onto the questions and answer section. Okay, I think the number one question that is most asked from my viewers is, should they get this camera over the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Now, I have used the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 just in store just to test it out. It's too techy for me. So if you're not a very tech person and you don't want to be fidgeting around, then I highly recommend picking this up over the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. However, the DJI does have really good stabilization and it does give that wide angle, and you can like magnetically, I guess, place it anywhere around the street. So a lot of people who travel to Tokyo actually use that camera, but that's only if you don't mind learning how to use that gimmicky thing. But for me, it's a no. I personally love my Canon. That's just me. But yeah, it's up to you. You just have to do your own research as to which camera suits you the best. Now, the second thing that people are asking me is, can it be on tripod? Yes, 100% it can. It does have the screw underneath here that you can pop onto a tripod. So use it to film like your, I guess you're cooking, or, easier to do the view and things like that, if you guys know what I mean. Sorry, I can't really find my words today. The other question that I've been asked quite often is, does it zoom? I did cover that, so it doesn't zoom, unfortunately. If you do want to zoom, you probably have to upgrade to a more expensive camera for that. Oh, this is an interesting one. So if putting a light ring around it, does the image quality looks better? You know what? Yes, I would say yes, it does. I haven't tried it myself yet. However, on some occasions where I have a bit more light in the background, like in front of me, the image from this little camera looks phenomenal. The coloring, the detail and everything, I love it. So I would say yes, so give it a go if you do have that camera. Put the ring light on. I have used ring light on this camera, which is also a Canon, and the quality looks so good. I don't doubt that it's also going to look good on the V10 as well. Another thing that I actually got was the backlit situation. So that's actually very interesting because I was in my very first video, I did film it with a backlit situation and it looked really, really good. So I'm going to say, yeah, the backlit situation is actually quite impressive. So if you guys get this camera, you know that you'll be covered if you're in a backlit situation. But yeah, otherwise that's all for the questions of today. Thank you so much for supporting me. I will try and pump out a video as often as I can. I'll see you guys in my next vlog. See ya, bye!